A todos, bienvenidos al canal Siguiente y ahora vamos a jugar, vamos a ver la Gamescom 2020. No vamos a jugar a nada, así por me confundí lo que siempre digo que vamos a jugar. Vamos a ver esto en vivo, que es un evento donde se presentan los juegos que van a salir en el año. Bueno, está en inglés, pero bueno, nosotros vamos a verlo y vamos a ver de qué se trata esto. Exclusivo, a ver, vamos a ver. Esto sería para todas las consolas. Vamos a ver de qué se trata este juego. Nacon. Se me cae la conexión. Vamos a ver que no se caiga la conexión, carajo. Quiero compartir esto con ustedes. Estamos viendo en vivo. Esto es Gamescom 2020. Bueno, para no exigir tanto el internet en el teléfono, voy a poner el internet del teléfono. Aunque lo mismo va a quitar un poco de recursos de que hay otra gente que está conectada al internet. Internet absoluto, como ustedes saben, en un hotel. Vamos a ver acá que se vea bien. Este es Werewolf the Apocalypse. Está para Xbox One, PlayStation 4 y PC. Bien. Werewolf. Vamos a ver qué más hay. Nova Work. Reproduccion MMO. Beta. Ahora. Vamos a ver de qué se tratará esto. Estamos viendo la transmisión de IGN. Podemos, es un sandbox donde podemos construir naves. Todas las novedades para todos los sistemas. En vivo. Organización and World. Es un Minecraft del espacio. La primera civilización online. Bueno. Dual Universe. La beta disponible ahora. Bueno, ahí salen todas las redes sociales. Vamos a ver qué es lo que sigue. Bueno, eso es exclusivo. A ver, para todas las edades. Para todas las edades.
After all these years of hardship. After everything they told me. I will show them that even I can be the best player.
Blood Bowl.
Blood Bowl. Nacom. Como un juego de fútbol americano, pero con trolls. Parece League of Legends, no sé qué será. No soy muy de esa serie. Estamos en vivo. Un hombre rata. Es un juego de fútbol americano. Minotauro. Blood Bowl. Mira, para Nintendo Switch también. Blood Bowl. Para Nintendo Switch también, mira. Novedad. Blood Bowl. Para todos los sistemas y para Nintendo Switch incluido. Mira este Peggy 12. Para mayores de 12 años. Nintendo Switch. Con un Real Engine. Ajá, bien, mira, juegazo, ¿ah? Juegazo, juegazo. Jump Force Deluxe Edition. Personaje de las sagas favoritas de anime. Personaje de Dragon Ball, de Naruto, de One Piece. Caballeros del Zodíaco. Jump Force. Estamos en vivo, esta es la Gamescom. En el canal Mismo se pueden ver todo en español. Pueden opinar también. Gamescom 2020. A ver si les gusta alguno de estos juegos, ¿no? Disponible ahora. Y en la versión de Switch te dan las ropas, las ropitas exclusivas. Ropitas exclusivas. Jump Force. Shoto todo. Valible en Nintendo Switch. Valible en Nintendo Switch. Bien. Ahí está conexión. Conexión. Bien. En septiembre. Merwem también para los DLC. Nintendo Switch de Bandai Namco.
And we're back. You just saw trailers for Werewolf,
ya están de vuelta los
Apocalypse,
presentadores.
Blood, a lot of extra words in there. Dual Universe, nice and short and sweet. Blood Bowl 3, self-explanatory. And Jump Force Deluxe Edition right here on Gamescom Studio. I'm joined by Brian and Tom once
hace
again.
rato
Let's talk
hicieron
about some of
como
what we
una
just saw.
presentación
First things
bastante
first,
larguita
Werewolf, the
sobre
Apocalypse,
Nintendo Switch.
Earthblood. This is
Hablando
revealed
ya
last
sobre
year.
las
This is
nuevas
set in the
generaciones de
same
consola
RPG
como
universe as
PlayStation
Vampire the
5 y
Masquerade, which
como
also has a brand new
Xbox
game coming out next
Serie
year.
X.
This one looks like
Hablan
it's definitely
también
kind of more
del
the
éxito que está
aggro
teniendo
badass
la
approach to
Nintendo
werewolves.
Switch
Brian,
en
you like
nivel
werewolves?
mundial cuando
I love a
llevamos
good werewolf
por
match. This looks
casi
like a really good
cuarto
time.
año ya
I actually really love the sort of
de la
intersection
consola
of
y el éxito que
nonsense,
sigue
fantasy,
teniendo. Buena, Miki, ¿cómo estás, querido
mech
Kevin?
robot fight. What is there's so
Estamos
much going on
viendo
here? There's like
a
tech
Gamescom en
and
vivo.
muscles and
Vamos a ver
body
qué
hair,
juegos
but there's
nuevos
also
vienen para
I
qué
think underneath this
sistemas.
all is going to be some really cool gameplay.
Eh,
This is something we
todas las
like. I think you would
novedades
only really
acá.
see in like a sci-fi B
Quería
movie,
compartirlo
but in a
con
video game, I
ustedes,
feel
quería
like a setting
verlo
like
con
this and a
ustedes
theme like this
esto.
works so much more.
Así que aquí estamos.
And yeah, werewolves are great. They're
Esperemos,
basically
roguemos que el
dogmen that wake
internet
up naked in
nos
the field with
siga
a chicken in their
funcionando
mouth
bien
occasionally.
porque
It's a
hasta
weird
ahora
life,
viene
but
bien.
someone wants to play
Al
it, and that
principio
someone
creo que
is
hubo
me.
una pequeña
Yeah, they're
caída.
taking on the logging industry. I love
Pronto
that they've
para
got these like
más.
power loaders with chainsaw hands. That is very cool.
Imposible.
Now, next up, we got to
No,
look
vamos a
at
ver,
Dual Universe, which
están
is
haciendo mucho énfasis en los
this is
juegos de
an
Nintendo Switch, como les dije
online interactive
recién.
empire. This is crazy. This has been sort of in, I guess,
Así que
alpha for a while. This is a
seguramente
crowdfunding
vamos a ver
success.
algo
It is
más
sort of described as a
de
build anything in space type of
Nintendo.
game.
Recién
If I
vimos
had to, I
un
would say
juego
it's
que se
somewhere
llama
between EVE
Blood
Online
Bowl,
and
algo
Minecraft and
así.
No Man's Sky. Tom, are you familiar
Un
with this
juego
at all?
como de
Yeah,
fútbol
every time I
americano
see
con
anything about
personajes
Dual
de la
Universe, it's one of
mitología.
those games where
Está
you're
muy
just
bueno.
like, what they're
Nada es
promising can't
imposible. Sí,
possibly,
nada es
like, it's
imposible
too
para
good, it
nada.
sounds too good to be true, but they're doing it. It's not like I'm
Pero
doubting
hay
it.
cosas que
It's just like the idea of
son muy, muy,
a
muy,
space
muy,
game
muy
where
difíciles. O
everyone
sea,
is in the
tenemos una
same server
posibilidad muy
online and you can
pequeña.
build pretty much anything,
Una
pretty much
en 10
anywhere,
millones.
you know, be
La
it a
posibilidad
space
que sea
station or a
cierto eso.
building. Like, it's just really a cool concept, and it's one of those things where you're like, oh man, like
Como
if
este
they
el
can
juego
pull
que
that
estaba
off,
mostrando recién, que
it's going to be something
es
special,
como
and
un
it's super cool to
Sims,
see
pero del
how much
espacio.
progress they've made, like you said, over the years.
Es como los streams del espacio.
Giving me some notes of kind of what
como Minecraft del espacio.
I'm with you guys. I think they'll deliver on it.
Como
yeah, I mean, on the flip side, No Man's Sky, like they
sí, pero no creo que
didn't stick the landing, but they stuck with it,
Kevin,
and now there's
no
like
creo
a
que
whole
hable
wonderful,
sobre
robust
Smash,
world there. And this is again, this is still in beta, so you can it's dualuniverse.game. Go check it out, see for yourself. We also got to look at Blood Bowl 3, which is of course the completely nonsensical intersection of Games Workshop's classic Warhammer and American football, a match made in somewhere. This is I saw
bueno, este es el juego que les decía yo,
almost, I think accidentally announced a couple like last year, like a while ago.
Bueno.
And people have been kind of expecting it to come because again, if you make
está muy
two
bueno,
games in
me
a series, the
sorprendió
third
que
is
no sabía
unthinkable.
que era
And I've heard some rumblings that this is going to go along with a new edition of the rules
Primero,
for the
empezó,
tabletop
no sabía
game.
bien de qué se
But either way, this is a
pero
great
es
trailer.
como una especie de
yeah, it's
hyper violent too.
It's great to have a trailer that just absolutely knows what the game is.
Está muy bueno.
Yeah, and then finally we got to look at Jump Force Deluxe Edition, which is coming to Switch. That's tomorrow. This is the Switch version of the game that is already out there, so if you want to know more, I'm sure you can find plenty of info, but that is the basic game plus the characters past one, which is 9 additional characters and costumes and moves for your avatar. As much as I wish we could keep talking about werewolf environmentalists and spaceships and orc sports and Goku for several hours, I've been explicitly told to keep that to a minimum during this show. You'll have to go check out my live journal for more. We have another block of exclusive trailers later today and plenty more gameplay right here on Gamescom Studio. But now, here's this.
Es donde están aprovechando las compañías en presentar los juegos que van a salir para los distintos sistemas.
Coming up next is a trailer for Season 3 of competitive quest shooter The Cycle. Let's check it out.
Vamos a verlo. ¿Qué es esto? Bienvenido. Pelea. Exploración. Completa. Sobrevive. Tranquilo, Mickey, lo veré subir. Ah, bueno, bien. Upgrade, Está bueno esto. ¿Qué es? El ciclo. De Epic Game, juego de Epic Game, los mismos creadores de
Gamescom 2020 is the heart of gaming, and you can keep to the beat right here on IGN. We've turned the single biggest show in gaming into fun. Gamescom Now is your virtual show floor with up-to-the-second live coverage. Gamescom Daily Show, Gamescom's first ever late-night talk show, our Gamescom Awesome Indie Show, the freshest deep cuts in indie gaming, and finally the Gamescom Best of Show, including the Gamescom Award. Gamescom 2020 is available on IGN and wherever you stream Gamescom
Now. Vamos a ver qué más hay. IGN, bueno, estamos en las propagandas. Seguramente van a mostrar más cosas. Ahí está, de Game of Thrones.
Never before seen looks at movies and games, to reviews, let's plays and live streams. IGN brings you all the coverage.
Bueno, voy a apagar un poquito la cámara. Voy a apagar un poquito la cámara, vamos a dejar ahí las publicidades. Luego la prenderé de vuelta cuando tenga que opinar algo. Vamos a dejar que siga la... A ver, no es todo como publicidad esta parte. Ya están los nuevos sistemas de Xbox One Series X. Salen los juegos que va a haber y también lo que es la PlayStation 5. Las novedades que va a haber, las nuevas generaciones. Las consolas 2020. Bueno, acá te venden ropa, te venden de todo. Te venden de todo, los chabones estos. Nos apagamos un ratito la cámara. Vamos a dejar ahí. Y ya vamos a volver a seguir opinando. Voy a levantar un ratito.
Check out IGN and Gamescom's TikTok accounts and use the hashtags Heart of Gaming and Gamescom 2020 to get in on the action.
Oh, hey. Welcome back to Gamescom Studio. For over a decade, Humble Bundle has been getting more eyes on indie games, and since founding a dedicated publishing arm, Humble Games, it doesn't look like that'll stop anytime soon.
Bien, ahí
Here are some of
volvieron.
the indie Humble Games is launching later this year.
And we're legally required to disclose that IGN and Humble are owned by the same parent company, Ziff Davis, but they operate independently and no special consideration is given to Humble promotions or coverage.
In fact, they don't even work in the same building as IGN. But I guess nobody really works in the same building anymore. What is a building? What is anymore? What is games? I guess we'll find out soon when we find out what Humble's up to.
Para eso los juegos. ¿Qué más habrá? Exclusivo. A ver. ¿Qué es esto? Humble Game. Un indie. Ah, es una mezcla de todo. Humble Game. 10 de noviembre. Es el Doom esto, ¿no? O algo parecido al Doom. Sí, es un símil del Doom. Look and Feel, 8 de octubre. Juegos indie. Musiquita tranqui. Una estrella que se comió uno ahí. Grandioso, este se llama Carto, el 27 de octubre. Esto, las puedes armar, niveles, customizar. Piso 13, Deep Starlet, en octubre 29. Está bueno porque están poniendo la fecha. ¿Y esto? Juego de misterio, detective. No te dicen para qué sistema son. Un thriller de estrategia, 29 de octubre. Ring of Pain. Juego de cartas. Seguramente son para PC, para Steam. Humblesgame.com.
We will have a look at some more of what Humble has planned for 2021 during tomorrow's Gamescom Studio, but right now, let's take another look at Dual Universe. That's the massively ambitious space simulation that lets players build virtually anything, and players are already doing that because there's a very active community. Let's take a look.
A ver esto. Exclusivo.
This is Jesse,
este es el del espacio.
the founder of Nova Quark,
Este es el del
and
espacio.
the creative director
Bueno, o es
of
otro.
Dual Universe. So let me get you
Es como que le están haciendo mucho énfasis a la publicidad de este juego.
Aspect of the game, which is content creation. Everything you see here is coming from the beta and is entirely made by the players themselves. So it shows really what
Parece un programa
he has done so far. It's quite amazing, and it uses the voxel technology we have developed that literally allows you to sculpt.
A los ingenieros les gustará esto.
I mean, you can really make any kind
Ingenieros
of shape you
civiles.
like, so the creative possibilities are
En construcción, como quieran
you
llamarle.
see these incredible things made by the community just in front of you. So you might think, okay, it's a building game. It seems to have some really cool possibilities with this voxel thing. But you know, there are many other building games out there. Why should I get excited? And well, the fact is that everything you see here
pueden ir comentando si quieren, así charlamos un poco
giant shared universe,
mientras vemos los trailers.
And so on, but it's shared by all players at the same time. So we're talking
Voy a prender la cámara.
Millions of people all together inside the same game world that gets never reset. That it's always there. So it's a completely radical difference compared to what you would have.
Bueno, explicando qué sé yo sobre este juego.
And everything you build actually matters and take place in this.
Explicando sobre este juego.
So to get back on the building and creativity, here you can see examples of really gigantic structures, spaceships that can, of course, fly, and space stations in the background. They're really amazing. They are completely customizable, so you can really make any kind of shape you like, but you can also make blueprints of them and then resell them on the in-game markets to other players. So that means that you can buy a really awesome ship even though you don't necessarily know how to build it right away, and that's a very good way to start in the game. This is absolutely gigantic. You see, this is a giant screen, and the interior of the space station gives you an idea of how big things can get, and everything can be literally scaled to the form you like. So that's about the creative possibilities of the design of the the structure you have. Here you have another example of what we can do.
Saben, pueden ir compartiendo, chateando, qué opinan.
So there will be much to say about PvP. This is just to
illustrate one aspect, which is that
when you do damage, you actually dig a hole in the structure, and that's making full use, of the voxel technology that allows, in fact, to modify, structures, and we do that. So that opens a lot of possibilities in terms of strategy, how you dig holes in hulls and invade ships and so on. It's really cool. So that's an aspect that we also take in consideration.
Quieren ver Gamescom en vivo desde La Rioja, Argentina.
Repair things also, so you don't lose.
Les puse el link para que vean todas las novedades de videojuegos.
Here you see another example of quite a funny, fully functional vehicle that you can build and ride in the game. It's pretty cool. That's actually a droid that is programmed, that is running a code. So there's another aspect of the creation which is about running a Lua code. You can see here another example on that screen where someone has written a game of Breakout, and you can actually play that game. So there is a Lua script running. Again, you can buy it. I mean, in the game, you don't have to with the in-game currency. You don't have to script it yourself. But that's how far you can go, in terms of customization. And here's another example that I like a lot, which is it's a snooker game. What you see here is actually a screen that has been used to give you the impression that you have a real ball in 3D. So that works fantastically well. It's really cool. It shows, there's no limit, and we're amazed every day by what the community is creating. It's all about emergence, the fact that we put the building blocks, and you guys, the players, are going to use it to build whatever you want. That's fantastic, and we try to make sure that you have all the relevant tools so you can do, you can express your creativity. And that's it for now. So I hope you enjoyed it, and I hope to see you soon in Dual Universe for more creation and amazing design by the community. Thank you.
Bien, muy bien. Thank you, muchas gracias.
Did anybody else know you could play billiards in that game? That seems weird, but I'm into it. That was Dual Universe right here on Gamescom Studio. We need to take a quick break, but coming up after, we have another block of exclusive trailers, world premieres. I don't know about that, but they are exclusive trailers, so don't go anywhere. If you have to go to the bathroom or get a drink or whatever, that's fine, but don't take too long because we're not going to wait for you to show the trailers. You do what you got to do. We're not looking, but do it. Go. But come right back. We'll be right back.
Gamescom Studios. Hello. Un poquito más de publicidad. Ropa de la Gamescom. Quieren vender la ropa como de lugar. Llaveros. Y un montón de cosas más. Ahí estamos. Aquí estoy, dice Ángel. Ángel querido, Ángel juega BSX. Oh my god.
Next Gen Console Watch 2020. We'll bring on the
nueva generación de consolas.
all the latest developments around these new consoles, from frame rates, services, features, peripherals, and even all the new tech jargon. Next Gen Console Watch 2020 will keep you up to
Esa
speed on
lindura no viene
everything
para
leading up to the
comprarla.
next generation of gaming.
La
Join us
chica.
every Friday for a new episode.
Not only is IGN the world's biggest media brand for games and entertainment,
Vamos a ver un poquito más de publicidades.
Fans of your favorite franchises. From breaking news and exclusives, never before seen
Hijo, wow.
games, to reviews, let's plays, and live streams, IGN brings you all the coverage you need, no matter where you are. IGN, the number one source for all games and entertainment fans worldwide.
¿Cómo cambiaron las cosas?
Gamescom 2020 is the heart of gaming.
Kevin.
You can keep to the beat right here on IGN. We've turned the single biggest show in gaming into 5. Gamescom Now is your virtual show floor with up to second live coverage. Gamescom Daily Show, Gamescom's first ever late night talk show.
¿Qué novedades hay para
Indie Show,
Switch?
the freshest deep cuts in indie gaming.
Ya vimos un
and
par
finally,
de
the
ellas.
Gamescom Best of Show, including the Gamescom
Unos 12
Award.
hijos, más o
Gamescom
menos.
2020 is available on IGN and wherever you stream Gamescom Now.
Gamescom Now. Vamos, muestran cosas nuevas.
Hey there, do you have opinions on games, movies,
Dejen de
TV, and other stuff
venderme.
on the internet? You can take part in our new show, Power Ranking, where you can vote on all your favorite things on the internet. Do it
Power
now.
Ranking.
Do it, just go. Vote. Go vote.
Bueno, se hacen propaganda de todo. Se hacen propaganda de todo. Ahí está.
Welcome back to Gamescom Studio. This is just
Estamos de
day
vuelta
one of
acá
4
con
days
la
of
camisa de las
jam-packed
palmeras,
gaming coverage,
porque
and
soy
it's a
fan de
long
los
haul, so I wanted to
palmeras.
make sure that you watching at home are taking care of yourselves. Remember to stay hydrated. You should be having 8-ounce glasses of water a day, or 2 liters if you're on the metric system, or just really prefer drink it out of big bottles.
Vamos,
And don't forget to get up and move around now and then. You can get up and stretch right now. I don't mind one bit. Was there anything else, Tom?
Un bombazo, mostrame.
Yeah, sorry to be a bother, but one more thing. If you're a fan of independent games, you won't want to miss our awesome indie show. Tune in on Saturday, August 29th at 10 a.m. Pacific, 1 p.m. Eastern, or 6 p.m. Central European time. It's all confusing, but I think I got it. It's going to be a really fun variety showcase of indie game premieres, announcements, gameplay demos, and some special guests.
Look, they turned you into a weird little robot. I can't wait to see this.
Yeah, they did.
This is that great job. I got questions. I have to tune in to find out. Anyway, coming up in just a second, we've got a block of trailers followed by our genuine and only loosely scripted reactions. I can't promise you there'll be 2 on the rails because I know what one of these games is, and it's a one to get excited about. But later on, there's also going to be a Gamescom edition of IGN's news, games, and more. And seriously, I swear we're going to show the trailers in a second. But just one more little thing we have to remind you about. If you want to grab official merch, swag, loot, collectibles, souvenirs, accoutrements, and or commemorative miscellanea, Gamescom, head to gamescomware.com. All right, that's it. Thank you for listening. Sorry to keep telling you to do stuff. They told us to do it. To do stuff. I don't know who they is. You want to know? I don't know. Don't worry about that. Here are the trailers. Watch the trailers. Enjoy.
Ya digan algo de Smash. Exclusivo. Vamos a ver qué es exclusivo. Para todo el mundo. Uso de tabaco. Bueno, vende cigarrillos. Wow, está bueno eso. Carrera de Monster Truck Championship. Como me gustan los juegos de Monster. Camioneta Monster, una con forma de perrito. Está buena esta. Bueno, que puedes crear tu propio monster. Bueno, sombrerito, todo. Está buena, ¿eh? Voy a hacer las pruebas clásicas. 25 arenas. Autos para Smash. Ahí está el de Toy Story. Estaría bueno que nos pongan al personaje de Excite Bike en Smash y que te pegue con la moto. Te pega un motazo. Para Switch, mira, Monster Truck para Switch. Para Xbox, para PlayStation, PC y para todo lo que se te ocurra. ¿Y esto? Una especie de James Bond. Wow, está bueno, me gustan los indies así también. Con moto ahí también, mira. Me gustan esos indies. Antes era un ayudante, no sé por qué lo sacaron. La demo en Steam. Este juego. Otro exclusivo. Egosoft. Tatatán, vamos a ver. Taratatán. Papapapam. Parapapam. ¿Qué es esto? ¿Otro espacial? ¿O el mismo? Todos juegos del espacio. Está de moda el espacio. Puso de moda el espacio. Una nave con forma de guitarra. Está como muy de moda el espacio. ¿Por qué lo sacaron a ese ayudante? Tienen que verlo para ver en qué gastan su dinero. ¿En qué gastamos el dinero? Guitar Hero espacial. A propósito, ese juego ya murió, que creo que sí, ya murió el Guitar Hero. El Guitar Hero. Mira, ahí tenemos para estacionar la nave en el andén número 3. Y este se llama algo con 4X. X4 Products of Humanity de Egosoft. Exclusivo. Bueno, no tiene todavía una... ¿Cómo que se diría? No está clasificado, así se dice. Muchos huesos. Parece que está bueno esto. Parece que alguien grande anduvo por ahí que dejó las huellas. Cuenta que no sea triple X. A ver esto.
And torture to death or submission. They're strong in numbers, armed with steel and sorcery.
Es un gigante, parece.
Their minds corrupted with greed and arrogance.
Es alguien que tiene los pies grandes. Rey León. Por la voz de ese Rey León. Wow, medieval. Me gusta que sea medieval. Me gustan los juegos medievales. Gigant Urprison. Gigant Urprison para Steam, para PC. Y para nadie más. Y para PC nada más es. Para Smash.
And welcome back to Gamescom Studio. You just saw a bunch of new trailers. Let's talk about the one with the monster trucks. Because I think they're great. Think about it this way. Imagine, if you will, a car strong enough to kill other cars using just its feet. That's tires for you auto nerds out there.
Yes, I love monster trucks. They're great. One that looks like a dog. They got bread on top of it. I love it. I love it. It's just got the rock and roll music playing again.
Dinosaur dragons. And the people ride them too. And you could go, you know, it's a good time to see the truck.
Yeah, doing jumps. They can jump over the porta potties. They got so much stuff.
They
do
flips.
Yeah, doing stunt. I love a good truck.
Really, one of the best things on earth. Let's take a look at some of the trucks. Mild piece of tobacco. You know what that means? Trucks are smoking. Yeah, baby. Light them up. Got them. The trucks are. Yeah, look at the trucks.
Yeah.
16 trucks.
That's
what, 64 tires. That's insane. Non-stop craziness.
Yes.
You can hit a tree. You can crash into the wall. Blow up the truck, get a brand new one. It's crazy.
Off in the truck's wheel comes off because he's doing too many stunts.
It's insane. Ripping, tearing, the hood blowing up, get gasoline for dirt cheap.
All kids tickets only $10.
Yeah, trucks. Speaking of things that are really big, there's also the Giants game, Giants Uprising, which is a game about a big nasty giant. It doesn't really have any trucks in it because this was invented a long time before trucks. But it's also fantasy.
Giants the trucks of people,
you could say that, yeah.
That's true.
Now, Max and I got to check this out last year at Gamescom. It's a really good time. It's really about a giant just showing up in a town and wreaking havoc. Not since Shigeru Miyamoto's hit billion-selling game Doshin the Giant, which was exclusively on the European GameCubes, has there been such a great game about a giant. You can do a lot of great stuff in this game. You can pee on villagers. You can burn stuff. You can eat goats. So I'm a big fan of everything here.
Pretty serious here, but we saw a demo last year that showed you go into the bathroom in the villagers' rivers and poisoning their water supply. And all the people get sick. It's just I love it.
Yeah, this trailer is really cool too because it definitely kind of had that almost a Fable vibe or Fable appeal to it, right? It's sort of just like leaving the door open, but I'm excited for this one for sure.
Yeah, that's right. Now there's still so much more Gamescom Studio to come. Maybe even some trucks. Yeah, trucks.
Yeah, trucks.
Including closer looks at Giants Uprising and
trucks
do not go anywhere unless it's in a monster truck. Yeah,
monster truck. Yeah. Están todos locos.
Ford has been working closely with racing game fans all around the world to design a brand new car called the Team Fordzilla P1. It will be used in yet to be announced games in 2021. On top of that, they recently revealed they'll be producing the car as a full-scale prototype too. The Team Fordzilla P1 was unveiled in Opening Night Live earlier today, but in case you missed it, here's a quick peek at what
Vamos a ver qué más muestran. ¿Qué es eso? Un auto de carrera que está tapado con una sábana. Sí. Es un auto futurista. De Ford. Un auto de Ford. Todo con LED. Wow, como tiene ruedas. Un auto de carrera para Smash. La tiene con Smash. Para el Paper Mario. P1. Así se llama, P1.
Gamescom 2020 is the heart of gaming.
Va a ser feo cuando hagan
right here on IGN.
La continuación porque se llama el P2 el juego.
Gamescom Now is your virtual show floor.
P2.
Up to the second live coverage.
Cuando hagan la continuación.
Gamescom's first ever late night talk show. Our Gamescom Awesome Indie Show.
Este año sale P1 y este otro año sale P2.
And finally, the Gamescom Best of Show, including the Gamescom Award. Gamescom 2020 is available on IGN and wherever you stream Gamescom Now.
Gamescom Now.
Not only is IGN the world's
a ver,
biggest
qué novedades hay.
entertainment, but we also have a team of some of the world's biggest fans of your favorite franchises. From breaking news,
espérame 30 segundos.
Looks at movies
30 segundos de fama.
Reviews, let's plays and live streams.
Vamos a ver qué haces en 30 segundos.
No matter where you are.
Se va a cambiar las medias porque la ha transpirado.
All games and entertainment fans worldwide.
Vamos,
The next generation of video gaming is on the horizon, and IGN is here to bring you the latest PlayStation 5 and Xbox Series X news and analysis in our new weekly show, Next Gen Console Watch 2020. We'll bring on the
¿Qué opinan? ¿Cuál les gusta más, la Play 5 o la Xbox?
From frame rates, services, features, peripherals, and even all the new tech jargon, Next Gen Console Watch 2020 will keep you up to speed on everything leading up to the next generation of gaming. Join us every Friday for a new episode.
O le van a hacer el aguante a Nintendo hasta que saque la próxima consola. O van a tener de las dos.
This year, Gamescom is streaming to you on IGN, and now you can watch it unfold on TikTok. World premieres, exclusive gameplay, cosplay, interviews, and unforgettable moments from the biggest show in gaming can now be
Ahora le
found
hacen
right
publicidad
in the palm
TikTok
of your hand.
también.
Check out IGN and Gamescom's TikTok accounts and use the hashtags Heart of Gaming and Gamescom 2020 to get in on the action.
Gamescom 2020 en TikTok. Volví, dice. Vamos a ver qué más muestran.
Oh, hey you, welcome back to Gamescom Studio. We have a bunch more games to show you, including Giants Uprising and X4. And after that, we have News Games and More, which is IGN's daily news show, which covers news, video games, and I believe more. More could really be anything. It's sort of like the Beyond section of Bed Bath & Beyond, in that it can be sort of a catch-all. Like, it could be about games, could be about pop culture, really anything you want. But specifically today, it's going to be about games, because Gamescom is about games. You know what else is about games? This game that Tom's going to show us. So let's take a look at this game from Tom. Not from Tom, he didn't make it, but he's going to show it to you, and you're going to love it.
Check out this game. Fíjate qué es este juego.
The next exciting under-the-radar pick for Check Out This Game is called Tinkertown, a multiplayer sandbox that looks a little bit like what might happen if The Legend of Zelda: Link to the Past had a baby with Terraria. Here's an exclusive early look at Tinkertown.
A ver, ¿este qué juego es? Están haciendo mucho énfasis en Switch. Muchos juegos para Switch. No sé si se vendrá algo de Smash, no creo. No creo, el otro día hubo un Nintendo Direct Mini. Podrían haberlo puesto ahí en el Mini si se viene algo para Smash, pero no creo. No creo que en este evento lo presenten algo para Smash. Porque Nintendo se guardará un Direct para presentar algo de Smash. Este es un juego así como en la granja soy muy feliz. Aunque sea algo chivo como hicieron con Joker en Game Awards. Claro, pero no es Game Awards, este es Gamescom. En Gamescom pueden presentar, no sé, si Nintendo presentarlo podría hacer algún juego de Yoshi, algún juego de Kirby, alguna cosa así. Incluso ni Zelda creo que lo presenten ahora, que ni uno de Zelda. Hay rumores sobre Zelda Skyward Sword. Por una palabra nada más, las dos son game.
Like what you see, you can watch the extended version of this gameplay at IGN.com or YouTube.com/IGN, or visit the game's interactive digital booth by visiting indiearenabooth.de. Also be sure to tune into Gamescom Awesome Indies, Saturday, August 29th at 10 a.m. Pacific for more exclusive gameplay, trailers, and reveals of exciting upcoming indie games.
Los personajes ganando territorios e ir construyendo nuestro reino. Nosotros queremos.
That was Tom Marks with a look at Tinkertown, a game about little tiny things right here on Gamescom Studio. We just got a look at Giants Uprising in the form of a trailer. I'm dying to see more of this game. I checked it out last year. I just mentioned this, but this is a game where you play as a giant and you can actually go to the bathroom in the river that all the villagers get their drinking water out of, and it makes them get sick, which is really gross, but also kind of hilarious. And I'm dying to see what the developers have added since then. Let's take a look.
Let's take a look. A ver, vamos a ver. Exclusivo. Gigant Uprising. Ahí van a mostrar algo del Gigant Uprising.
My name is Hubert and I'm
the
producer of Giants Uprising.
Quiero que muestren algo más porque recién mostraron así como el... Ahora me muestra el gameplay. Sí, me muestra el gameplay, bien. Wow, hechicero. Uy, quedan un montón de muertos ahí. ¿Qué pasó? Ahí viene, gigante. Saluda a todo el gigante.
está el Gigante project was shown for the very first time on
Claro, es todo para PC, pero tiene sus controles así de teclado.
Phase with our idea of gameplay, destroying every object that surrounds us, harassing humans, and simply having fun of being big.
Es que no creo que muestre nada de
Smash.
Está muy lejos de que muestre nada de Smash.
We love the concept of destroying the villages, humans, and everything else. We know that you fell in love with giants just like we did, and that's why we put even more hard and work into
podrían mostrar si llega a ser cierto lo del remaster de Zelda Skyward Sword en Switch, podría ser que lo muestren.
Check it out yourself.
Pero acá vas con el gigante y tenés que ir rompiendo los pueblos y obviamente que la gente se va a defender, entonces tenés que ir peleando contra la gente.
But we also added new elements that buff humans, making them more ferocious.
Podrían mostrarlo para Smash si se le tiene con el Smash, no creo.
During many brainstorms regarding
me da gracia cómo saluda.
We talked about main core loop of the game. We knew that the concept of being huge creature that is crashing but we also thought about the hack and crash element all the time. Multiple redesigns resulted in creating our own genre, which I can simply put this way. Reverse tower defense with destruction of whole villages for which the player gains score points. Nothing that existed in game industry before gave us that level of satisfaction, so we made something up, just like that.
Hay que ir rompiendo todo antes que te rompan la madre. Ir acabando con la gente. Hola a todos, buenas, Mickey dice, buenas Kevin, ¿cómo estás querido Nelo? Mucho gusto dice. Oh mira hay otro gigante más.
At some point we had to admit that we are not able to fit everything in the game before the release of the game. But we also didn't want to abandon a whole bag of good ideas because they are simply too interesting to die in the idea purgatory. Additionally, we keep receiving ideas from gamers. Confirming strict
no creo que haya algo de Smash, sí, no creo, no, está muy difícil. Ese cuando mucho pueden mostrar alguna cosa nueva para Switch, que sea el remaster, ponerle de Zelda Skyward Sword para Switch. Cuando mucho, que fue anunciado en Amazon, creo que sin querer, en Amazon de Reino Unido. Chao Nelo dice, qué mal. ¿Por qué le dices chao? O le dices chao bambino, como saludo. Ahí está el gigante, mira, se durmió. Aquí sigo, Kevin, ¿cómo estás? Gigante Urpicing, está bueno, me gusta. Es como que tenés ahí dos lugares para elegir.
Because of this, we also made decision about second important thing. We had to leave the idea of classic story mode, and we divided the game into multiple modes. First mode that the players will be able to access is so-called Smash mode.
Porque no dijo que ahora nada para el Smash, por eso
has to destroy as many buildings, humans, and the environment as possible.
Pero Smash no es todo lo que hay en la vida, amigo.
After which destruction of mycelium source on the map will be possible. We know how interesting the leaderboards and competition are for the players, and we want to make the game as competitive as possible. As for the other modes, you need to wait a little longer for more details.
Está bueno el juego este. Espero que saquen la colección de Mario 3D. Sí, la verdad estaría buenísimo eso. Estaría buenísimo.
I hope I managed to give you some perspective on what the Giants Uprising is and what is going on.
Pero tendrían que ser todos en juegos individuales, porque en uno solo no va a caber en un solo cartucho.
In the near future, we will start a Kickstarter fundraising. Be sure to check out our Facebook page, Twitter, and be sure to visit our Kickstarter page. We have some cool rewards for our contributors.
El que podría caber es Mario 64, por ejemplo. Y el...
Stay at home
¿Cómo
and
se
play
llama?
games. And be sure to send us your ideas, because with every little idea,
Crash 4 para Switch. Sí, bueno. El que podría caber es el Mario 64, se me hizo una laguna. El Mario 64 y el Mario Galaxy 1 podrían caber en un cartucho. Pero de ahí los demás no. El Mario Sunshine tendría que ir aparte. El Mario Sunshine creo que es más pesado que el Galaxy. Crash para Smash. También puede caer el Mario Galaxy 1. Sí, el Mario Galaxy 1 con el Mario 64 para mí. Mira, ya está una especie de Fortnite. Ah, el del gigante cae así como Fortnite. Fortnite gigante. Fortnite gigante. Mucha suerte con tus estudios, dice. Puedes jugar y estudiar a la vez. Wow, yo no podría. O hago una cosa o hago la otra. Está bueno esto del gigante, me gusta. El gigante que rompe todo. Dicen que las clases online son muy malas. Así dicen todos. Me le saca la flecha. Uy, se murió. Se murió. Se re murió. Quiero que igual esté el Galaxy 2, el 3 de LAN y el 3 de World.
Doesn't that look fun? That was Giants Uprising right here on Gamescom Studio. Now, X4 Cradle of Humanity might sound like a movie about a bunch of leather-clad superheroes who fight to protect a world that fears and hates them. And one of them has sideburns and knives coming out of his hands. But it's actually about spaceships. So let's take a look.
Es un buen invento. Ya remasterizado. Vamos a ver este exclusivo. Egosoft.
Hello there. I'm Owen Lake, and I'm a mission designer at Egosoft.
Ya lo vimos esta.
We're the developers of the long-standing
X4
Space Simulation game
Humanity
series.
Algo así.
With over 30 years of history, Egosoft is one of the oldest game developers in Germany, and the first game in the X
Hay un rumor
Frontier
que antes de Macron llega al Smash.
1999. Our games are simulating a vast universe with ships and stations driving a dynamic
Muy mala,
economy.
no te enseñan igual que en clases.
A drop in the ocean.
Supongo.
Over time, you will trade and fight,
Supongo que debe
build
ser
fleets
bastante
and
feo las
factories,
clases.
and explore the
Oline.
universe and encounter numerous exciting stories. Each game consists of huge areas of space.
Las
simulated
clases
from the
Oline.
bottom up. Hundreds of stations and thousands of ships trade amongst themselves. Prices change based on supply and demand. Resources are mined and processed, eventually resulting in high-tech products. When the warring factions clash in conflict, or a crucial resource
Es como que está muy de moda el espacio, todo el tiempo están mostrando juegos espaciales y espaciales y espaciales.
start to appear. Should you make the decision to act, you may well change the course of the game universe.
Bueno, hasta ahora lo que vamos viendo es el juego ese de fútbol americano. Así con ogros, con personajes mitológicos, todo eso está muy bueno en Switch. El otro juego que estuvimos viendo acá es el Monster Truck, que también está bueno. Me gustaría que muestren algo de lo que mostraron el otro día en el Direct, ese juego de Rocky, de boxeo, con los personajes de la película de Rocky y los personajes de la película de Creed. Por Apollo Creed, personajes de Rocky, está bueno ese juego de boxeo, me gustó lo que vi en el Direct el otro día. Antes estaría muy cool, pero no sé si me convence otro personaje de Capcom, dice. No, bueno, no es más que todo por de dónde sea el personaje, sino que... O sea, en realidad no jugué ningún Devil May Cry. Tenía pensado jugar alguno. Creo que están de oferta ahora, según lo que he estado viendo. Podría ser de que gaste unos pesos ahí en comprar un Devil May Cry. Pero al ser un hack and slash, se me hace que el personaje sería muy similar a Bayonetta. Sería como un Bayoneto. Según lo que yo creo, ¿no? Pero yo escuché gente que jugó a Devil May Cry y jugó a Bayonetta diciendo que le gusta más Bayonetta. Entonces no sé yo qué tal sería Dante en este juego. O sea, yo creo que si vamos por importancia del personaje de Capcom en el éxito y todo lo demás, o sea, quien tendría que ir sería Leon o Jill Valentine. Los de Resident Evil. Esto se me hace que sería más indicado. Bayonetta es Joker. Joker sería, si vamos a compararlo, Joker sería como si, que estuve hablando con Kevin el otro día, como si meterían, ponerle, si meten un personaje de Astral Chain, sería muy similar a Joker, en realidad, por Arsene y porque los personajes de Astral Chain tienen a las quimeras, que las quimeras son tipo como Arsene. Y la mayoría de los movimientos también son muy parecidos. Personajes de Astral Chain tienen pistola, tienen una especie de bastón, el que usa el mismo policía por ser policías. Entonces creo que sería muy similar Joker al personaje de Astral Chain. En 2018 le preguntaba a su creador del personaje, creo que le gustaría para Smash, y dijo que Dante y otros más. Hace unos días le hicieron la misma pregunta y nombró a todos menos a Dante. Eso me da una señal que Dante sí está en el juego. Y puede ser que haya cambiado de opinión. Capaz que si vos el año pasado me preguntabas qué chica me gusta, yo te decía el nombre de una chica, y si me preguntas este año te digo el nombre de otra, porque a veces uno cambia el gusto también. No sé, mi forma de pensar, pero yo creo que lo más apropiado en cuanto a la importancia de la saga y de todas esas cosas serían los personajes de Resident Evil. Resident Evil en el Smash creo que estaría bueno. O sea, Leon o si no Jill Valentine, que son los principales, creo. No sé si hay otro que sea más principal que ellos. Y debido a que Resident Evil tiene cuántos juegos ya, creo que sería algo de que no tendrían que dejarlo pasar, porque es una saga que tiene más juegos que Banjo-Kazooie. Está Banjo-Kazooie y Banjo-Tooie, y de ahí los otros juegos de Banjo no cuentan. Tiene 2 juegos y está en el Smash. ¿Y Resident Evil cuántos juegos tiene? 12 creo que son, ¿no? 11, 12, no sé cuánto más, todos los otros, los remakes, los reboots, los reboots, ¿cómo que se llama esto? Como que son los de antes, los cero y todo eso. Tienen muchísimos juegos, por eso creo que sería más apropiado que los personajes de Resident Evil estén en el Smash, creo. Aparte, estando los personajes de Castlevania, no veo por qué no podrían.
That was X4, one of the many games we showed off here on Gamescom Studio. But this is only day 1 of 4, so make sure you tune in tomorrow for tons more stuff.
And remember, the Awesome Indie Show is on Saturday at 10 a.m. Pacific, 1 p.m. Eastern, or 6 p.m. Central European Time. A really fun variety showcase of indie games premieres, announcements, gameplay demos, and some great special guests.
It should be fun. And if you want to get a look at the rest of the schedule, along with all sorts of Gamescom content you might have missed, head to www.gamescom.global and you can sign up for an account and personalize your Gamescom experience. They've created a whole virtual convention set up over there. It's great.
I love to personalize experience. Coming up next is IGN's News, Games, and More, featuring a panel of beautiful people who still have a spring in their step and joy in their hearts. Unlike us, old hags, it's time for the 3 of us to go put on our dressing gowns, shuffle off to our easy chairs to read the evening paper in peace with all these computer games making a racket.
All right. That's enough. Brian needs a snap, everybody. Here is News, Games, and More. You pipe down.
I'm old.
Vamos a ver si presentan algo más. ¿Qué es esto? Para mañana de 18 años. A ver que ya terminó. Creo que ya terminó. Creo que ya terminó. A ver.
The next generation of video gaming is on the horizon, and IGN is bringing the latest PlayStation 5 and Xbox Series X news and analysis in our new weekly show, Next Gen Console Watch 2020. We bring on the experts to discuss and analyze all the latest developments around these new consoles, from frame rates, services, features, peripherals.
Bueno, vamos a ver, pero no sé, creo que
Next Gen Console Watch 2020 will keep up to speed on everything leading up to the next generation of gaming. Join us every Friday for a new episode.
Sonó como que era el final, pero justo ya estaba hablando y no escuché lo que dijeron. Espero que no haya terminado todavía. Sigo un poquito más.
And exclusives, never before seen looks at movies and games, to reviews, let's plays, and live streams, IGN brings you all the coverage you need, no matter where you are.
No sé cuántos días son estos. Yo creo que hoy es el segundo día. Creo que hoy es el segundo día de la Gamescom.
Gamescom 2020 is the heart of gaming, and you can keep to the beat right here on IGN. We've turned the single biggest show in gaming into 5. Gamescom Now is your virtual show floor with up to the second live coverage. Gamescom Daily Show, Gamescom's first ever late night talk show. Gamescom Awesome Indie Show, the freshest deep cuts in indie gaming. And finally, the Gamescom Best of Show, including the Gamescom Awards. Gamescom 2020 is available on IGN and wherever you stream Gamescom Now.
Vamos a seguir viendo si llegan a presentar algo más mañana.
Hey there, do you have opinions on games, movies, TV, or other weird stuff?
Pero bueno, todas publicidades ahora. No, mira, yo creo que esto ya ahora ha terminado. Se vio algunos juegos nuevos. Se vio cosas interesantes. Yo digo por la hora que es, a ver. Sí. Yo creo que ya terminó.
Welcome everybody to News, Games, and More. IGN.
No. Se despidieron los otros, no terminó.
That's right, you guessed it. News, Games, and the More. I'm Akeem Lawanson, joined by my pals, Seth Lacey, Casey DeVries, and Matt Kim. How are y'all doing?
Oh, man.
I hope so. Today was a very big day.
There's so much stuff.
Yeah. Now let's talk about Gamescom. Now earlier,
claro, no era eso. Yo decía, bueno, pensé que había terminado porque escuché como que se habían despedido.
We got so many
Mr. Game
announcements, and I kind of just want us to kind of go through some of the highlights and give our thoughts on some of the reveals. So first up, let's start with the Call of Duty Black Ops Cold War trailer. Cinematic trailer of the Perseus briefing. Now, for those of you who might not know your history, Perseus was like the code name of a possible Soviet spy alleged to have breached U.S. national security during the Manhattan Project. Now, I find it very, very interesting that they're choosing to kind of like delve into like actual history to draw inspiration for this game. But I'm kind of curious what you guys think about this. Seth, I knew you kind of grew up in this era, so let's start with you.
Yes. Very excited to relive my youth where we were afraid of nuclear annihilation and mutually assured destruction. But actually, from this trailer, it looks a little like they're playing it a little cheesy, like an 80s action movie. I'm completely on board. When CGI Ronald Reagan shows up, I'm like, all right, this is crazy and doesn't make a lot of sense. We've got Scarface, Robert Redford there. I am completely into this. I hope it has a rock and 80s soundtrack, and I hope they play it a little bit on the That's what I'm looking for. Don't go too serious with this, guys.
Yeah, Matt, what did you think of this?
I'm with Seth. It has that like thriller, spy. That's why they created a dude who is not quite, but definitely.
Todos están chateando conmigo. Mentira, no estoy chateando con ellos.
And no matter my personal feelings towards the Gipper, it's weird,
Pero es que mejor así puedan ver la parte donde se ve el gameplay.
Yeah, and I'm digging those aviator glasses. Those it speaks to the time. It speaks to the period. And again, like I'm super hyped for this. So now we also got Unknown 9 Awakening announced, and the cinematic trailer of Reflector Entertainment's upcoming game. Now in this trailer, we're shifting gears here. To a different game. Okay, all right. We were still showing the other game. Yes. So we're checking out Unknown 9 Awakening. It looks really cool. In this trailer, we see a young girl. She's hiding something, and she suddenly discovers that she has these powers as she's running away from these guys that are chasing her. Which I'm pretty sure if she had those before, she probably wouldn't have ran away. Now this game just looks beautiful, and I love like the music, which kind of like sets the mood for the overall presentation. What do you guys think of this, Casey? I feel like this is a game that's right up your alley. Mine as well.
It looks really cool. So we don't know a whole lot about this. We do know it will be a third-person, narrative-driven action-adventure game set in a, quote, new transmedia Unknown 9 universe. So these games and kind of the entire universe is inspired by things like X-Files, The Matrix, Heroes, Indiana Jones. And I know a lot of people are fans about that. I know I am. It sounds really cool. But the thing that's especially interesting about this is that it will tie into podcasts and comics, and they will all kind of reference to each other in either overt or subtle ways. I'm wondering if I'm going to have to do all three to keep up with the story.
Yeah, me too. I'm kind of curious. Like, what if something happens like in the podcast that pretty much like explains something that happens in the video game that you wouldn't be aware of if you didn't listen to the podcast, or vice versa, or you need to read the comic book in order to know who this particular character that was revealed in the podcast. Like, I kind of wonder how they're gonna how that's all gonna correlate and connect.
Like why is one of the main characters talking about how comfortable MeUndies are?
Yeah.
I'm also kind of, so I think we saw that some of the people working on this game previously worked on AAA titles, which a lot of them were Ubisoft titles, and some of the comments in the article about this actually mentioned that Assassin's Creed, if you want to get the full story, you have to read everything and play all the games too. So maybe there's a little bit of inspiration. That's complete speculation. Don't quote me on that.
Wow, they really want us to do a lot, which I mean, I'm all for it. I mean, it's an interesting and unique, kind of like I guess take on acclimating yourself to this new game. I'm down for it. I love podcasts and comics. So now for those Doom fans out there, we also get the Doom Eternal, the Ancient Gods DLC reveal, which is the first official DLC of Doom Eternal. The Ancient Gods was shown alongside a release date announcement, so we can expect this to launch sometime in October. It's going to specifically October 20th this year. Just wanted to mention that briefly. We also finally, moving right along, we also finally got our first look at Dragon Age 4 with BioWare developers diving into concept art, footage of some new locales, and even confirming the return of Solus. Now he's that character that you either love him or you hate him or maybe both. Now what's that?
I'm kind of indifferent about Solus. He wasn't I don't know. He's fine, I guess.
Really? Okay, so you're in the
personally,
middle.
Most people are divided about that guy. But man, the entire time I was watching this kind of mini documentary and getting to see like really small glimpses into Dragon Age 4, I was basically on the edge of my seat waiting to see an actual trailer or something, and then we didn't get it, and that makes me sad.
Yeah, I feel like I think that's kind of like the general consensus among fans, because I was checking the comments, and people were like, we want more game footage, and I believe there were like 2 new characters that were revealed as well. Matt, you said you checked Twitter, and apparently people are already like, are they creating fan fiction around these characters already, or what was it?
If they aren't right now, they will be. Like they showed off some characters that we haven't seen before, and Dragon Age and BioWare games being what they are, they're already like, oh, I'm gonna romance that character. You better believe it. But yeah, it does show how that there's no full length trailer.
Mm-hmm. Now, again, so much gaming content. We got to keep this moving. We also saw the reveal of a game I never thought I ever needed in my life until now. Bridge Constructor, The Walking Dead. Yes, guys. Rockstone and Head Up showed off Bridge Constructor, The Walking Dead, a project that pretty much takes the shape of a physics-based puzzle game. Now, I know my main man, Seth, you love flight simulators. Do you love building bridges as well?
Yeah,
what's your take on this?
As a metaphor for society, I think we need to build more bridges. But we don't know, like, if you're supposed to build the bridges to help the zombies like cross to you, or you're supposed to. I don't know. It's just like cool. It's like a weird little game. Go watch footage of like the other games that it's just like silly, and you get to build stuff and play with physics. Who doesn't want to play with physics?
Right. Yeah. And honestly, like, and I think the trailer kind of like speaks to how silly of a concept this is. But also, I just want to bring this to the light of day to people. See, if you remember, The Walking Dead season 9, Rick Grimes actually blew up a bridge. So I'm thinking the devs were like, as soon as they saw that scene, they were like, dude, I got our next crossover. Yes. He blew up a bridge, and I thought that pretty much sparked their inspiration for this game. I'm calling it right now. Now, the last game I kind of want to mention before we jump to break is World of Warcraft Shadowlands. The release date announcement is October 27th, which is pretty cool. We saw some cool footage of that. We got a new World of Warcraft animated short, which gave us a look at one of the new realms coming to the Shadowlands expansion this fall. So check that out, October 27th. But right now, guys, we got to take a quick break, but we'll be right back with even more news, more of the games, and more of the more. So stick around.
A ver, Game Studio, Gamescom. Vamos a ir allá.
Still using those tiny phones and tablets to watch IGN? Give your eyeballs a rest, because IGN has moved to your living room. Get first looks and in-depth reviews of the most talked about titles.
Thank you so much for chatting with me.
Pleasure to be here.
And take a front row seat to the biggest events of the year. Tune in on your Samsung TV Plus, Pluto, and Flex.
Animal Crossing.
And take a load off.
Zelda Breath of the Wild 2. ¿Qué más? ¿Qué más?
Is IGN the world's biggest media brand for games and entertainment?
¿Cuándo irá a salir?
Of some of the world's biggest fans of your favorite franchises. From breaking news and exclusives, never-before-seen looks at movies and games, to reviews, let's plays, and live streams, IGN brings you all the coverage you need, no matter where you are. Whether you're on IGN.com, the IGN app, YouTube, Facebook, or Snapchat, we've always got you covered. IGN, the #1 source for all games and entertainment fans worldwide.
Everybody loves watching a speedrun of their favorite game. But what if you got the opportunity to peek into the minds of the developers while they watch their games getting completely wrecked? That's exactly what happens in every episode of Game Devs React to Speedruns.
Oh my God!
We invite you to ride along with the developers as they react to, question, and enjoy some of the most skilled players exploiting and speeding through a game it took years of their life to create. Join us every Saturday for a new episode.
The next generation of video gaming is on the horizon, and IGN is here to bring you the latest PlayStation 5 and Xbox Series X news and analysis in our new weekly show, Next Gen Console Watch 2020. We'll bring on the experts to discuss and analyze all the latest developments around these new consoles.
Vamos a ver cuando vuelva, porque están muchos comerciales.
Even all the new tech jargon, Next Gen Console Watch 2020 will keep you up to speed on everything leading up to the next generation of gaming. Join us every Friday for a new episode.
And we are back on news, games, and more. IGN's daily news show. And guess what, guys? We're talking about Gamescom, and even more shocking, we're talking about more games. Believe it or not. Yes. So today, there's so much more to talk about. Now, Anna Perna revealed the cast for their upcoming title, 12 Minutes. I'm actually looking forward to this particular one. Now, in this brief new trailer, Annapurna's cinematic drama game features a voice cast that includes James McAvoy, Daisy Ridley, and the great Willem Dafoe. As soon as I heard his voice, I was like, oh my God. Now, for those of you who might not be too familiar, this is a psychological thriller which takes the player through a 12-minute time loop where a man who introduces himself as a police officer shows up at your door, accuses your wife of a murder, and then he just straight up kills you. He's just like, yeah, you got to die. Your wife killed, I got to kill you. So how do we feel about this particular game? And more importantly, the cast reveal. Let me start with you, Seth.
I mean, the cast sounds awesome. Daisy Ridley is fantastic. And of course, Willem Dafoe is amazing. I'm not too knowledgeable about the other guy, so much to the point, I just actually forgot his name. But I do want to point out that I did notice that the carpet from the Shining Hotel can be seen in one of the scenes. And that definitely piqued my interest as somebody who likes both hotels and carpet.
This guy. I love this guy.
I gotta be who I am.
So
Casey, what did you think of the cast?
So we do know that the carpet is just an Easter egg, and sorry to burst everyone's conspiracy bubbles, but it doesn't mean anything else. This is not set in the same universe as The Shining. At least that's what we've heard so far. Maybe they're just completely lying to us. Who knows? But anyway, 12 Minutes, the Groundhog-esque type of game, looks really interesting, and I really didn't expect to have such recognizable names playing the characters, and all we know is that it's the man, the woman, and the intruder. They don't have names yet, and I don't know if they will, but if you want to know, the main kind of premise is that you are getting ready for a romantic night with your wife, and then a police officer comes and assaults you, and if you fail to get out of the situation, it resets. And you got to figure out what's going on. It's pretty interesting.
Yeah, it is, and not only that, just looking at it visually, like it's such a unique aesthetic that I haven't experienced. The first time I experienced this over the top view of a video game, it was Grand Theft Auto, and that was like years ago, and it didn't look as cool as this looks. Like the bullets were the size of your body, so everything looks proportionate here in this particular game. I'm definitely looking forward to this. 12 Minutes is set to have a release date in 2020, so I guess later on this year, and it will launch on Xbox One, Xbox Series X, and PC. Now, next up, let's break from all this gaming related news and let's discuss some gaming adjacent news. It's been confirmed, guys. There's a Resident Evil series in the works from the good old folks over at Netflix, and apparently it will tell a brand new story. Yes, yay for brand new stories. Now, according to Netflix, Resident Evil will tell a brand new story across 2 timelines. I'm going to briefly read, not all of it, I'm going to briefly read some of the synopsis. So in the first timeline, we have 14-year-old sisters Jade and Billy Wesker, ooh, familiar last name, are moved to New Raccoon City, a manufactured corporate town forced on them right as adolescence is in full-on swing. But the more time they spend there, the more they come to realize that the town is more than it seems, and their father may be, get this, concealing dark secrets. Go figure. It's who are we talking about here? Come on now.
Oh my God.
Albert Wesker? No way. That guy.
I know, right? Now in the second timeline, they jump to the future. Jump to the future, Marty. Sorry, there's no Marty.
That's pretty good.
Thank you. I saw him earlier today during Gamescom. Now there are less than 15 million people left on Earth apparently in this future. More than 6 billion monsters. This includes people and animals infected with the T virus. Jade, now 30, struggling to survive in this new world while the secrets from her past are bubbling up, and her sister and her father and she's haunted by all of this stuff. So what do we think about this live action take? Are we excited for this? That they're going to be telling a new story. I don't know who here is a big Resident Evil fan. I don't know. Matt, I feel like you might have some opinions about this.
Yeah, I mean, I think the person that stuck out to me is if I had like even a little bit of knowledge of Resident Evil history, like if I lived in Raccoon City, I wouldn't live
Resident Evil in Raccoon City,
right? Like that would be the
yes,
right? Like they'd be like, "Hey, come to New Raccoon City. It's still owned by Umbrella." I'm like, "No, I remember what happened to old Raccoon City. I don't want to go there." But it's nice. It's interesting. I mean, like they're taking the play of the CGI.
Bueno, esto también tira un poco a la teoría mía de que podría ir en el Smash un personaje de Resident Evil.
Clearly, they're interested in not like retelling any of the games, so good for them. I mean, I'll check it out. It's on Netflix. I have.
Muy bueno.
It's an easy, like, I'll give it 2 or 3 episodes, but
está muy bueno.
I prefer a retelling of one of the games.
Really? So you're not more curious about like just like telling a new story with like new characters?
Nueva historia con nuevos personajes.
The Paul W.S. Anderson movies have done.
Futurista.
Those are fun in a silly kind of way, but I think purists would want like adaptations with like actors playing Chris and Jill and stuff like that.
Casey, what's your take on this?
Man, I think a 1-to-1 retelling of the Resident Evil story would be great, but also the expectations would be insane. Trying to meet those expectations of telling a 1-to-1 story, man, I wouldn't want to be the person to take on that story. So I think telling new stories in the universe that can kind of allude to things that people who play the games know is a much easier way to get success from a Resident Evil show. But I think this looks, I mean, I can't say if it looks cool or not because there aren't any trailers, but it sounds like it will be interesting and good. And I do see one of the comments is from Indie Guy, Resident Evil has potential to be as big a TV show as The Walking Dead, but they need to double down on the horror/human aspects and cut way down on the sci-fi crap. And I can't really help but to agree with that if they're going to make it.
No me tira la teoría de que pueda llegar un personaje.
Yeah, 100%. No, I agree with you. And like I see, they have a writer that he was a writer on the Supernatural series, and they also have one of the directors from the Walking Dead series, 2 television shows that I'm a huge fan of. So I feel like they have the right ingredients, at least for the first 2 episodes. We don't know who's going to be writing or directing the future episodes after the first 2. And like you said, I feel like it would be a huge undertaking to try to adapt, Resident Evil 1, 2, 3. You can keep on going because it's
and there's just so much to it.
Yeah, exactly. So I feel like if you get it wrong, fans will never forgive you. They will never forgive you. And I'm speaking as a fan. I will not forgive you. So don't you know what I mean? I wasn't a huge fan of the movies either, but hopefully this will make me come around because I'm super duper excited for it. Now we've got so much more coming up, guys. So much more to talk about. So much more news, games, and more. Stick around. We got to take this quick commercial break.
A ver, ¿qué más? Oh, está bueno lo de Resident Evil.
Gamescom 2020 is the heart of gaming, and you can keep to the beat right here on IGN. We've turned the single biggest show in gaming into 5. Gamescom Now is your virtual show floor with up to the second live coverage. Gamescom Daily Show, Gamescom's first ever late night talk show. Our Gamescom Awesome Indie Show, the freshest deep cuts in indie gaming. And finally, the Gamescom Best of Show, including the Gamescom Award. Gamescom 2020 is available on IGN and wherever you stream Gamescom Now.
¿Qué opinan de Resident Evil futurista?
Games and entertainment, but we also have a team of some of the world's biggest fans of your favorite franchises.
Me ha gustado.
Breaking news and exclusives, never before seen looks at movies and games, to reviews, let's plays, and live streams.
Lo único que no me gusta es que ponen 100.480
IGN,
publicidades.
The source for all games and entertainment fans worldwide.
Es broma, dice. También sí ya lo
The next
sabía.
generation of video gaming is on the horizon, and IGN is here to bring you the latest PlayStation 5 and Xbox Series X
Ya lo
news and
sabía.
analysis in our new weekly show, Next Gen Console Watch 2020.
¿Qué será lo mismo para el futuro? Sí, una historia sobre Raycon City en el futuro con nuevos personajes. Dicen que es una nueva historia, sí, será más o menos lo mismo, porque se va a seguir tratando de zombies. Va a ser Resident Evil. Pero está bueno un nuevo Resident Evil. Es porque como los otros se quedaron muy en el tiempo. Seguramente va a ser más gore, con más sangre, con más muertos, con más zombies.
Exclusive gameplay, cosplay, interviews, and unforgettable moments from the biggest show in gaming can now be crammed right into the palm of your hand. Check out IGN and Gamescom's TikTok accounts and use the hashtags Heart of Gaming and Gamescom 2020 to get in on the action.
Pude pasar la final de
Now we're wrapping up news, games,
Mario,
and more, but did you know
de
Gamescom
Mario.
is 4
Ya la había
days
pasado Kevin, ya la
jam-packed with
pasé yo
gaming
ahora.
content? Well, if you didn't,
Está buena
now
la
you
final.
do.
Está buena. Primero me había...
Well, it is, and it's all leading
Me había
up to
embolado
a
un
great
poco
big
porque
send-off this
la
Sunday.
última
So
parte
head on
del
over
combate,
to
no voy a hacer spoiler, pero
www.gamescom.global and
no me gustó
cast
la
a
última
vote
parte
for
del
your
combate.
favorite streamer, Gamescom's
Pero al
most
fin lo
wanted,
pude
and
pasar.
the best of Gamescom. And then tune in on Sunday, August 30th, 30th at 8 p.m. Central Eastern Time, 11 a.m. Pacific to see the grand finale of this year's Gamescom, where we give the gamers a stage. That's right, guys. Cool cosplayers, user-voted awards, esports, and more. But now there's time. It's time for more news. Now we're gonna go right into it, guys. I had a little nightmare recently. So
Haven't we all been having nightmares recently?
Yes, we have, but you know, it got even more heightened because I found out that well, I didn't find out, but I saw the Little Nightmares 2 gameplay reveal, which is pretty damn awesome. Now the gameplay trailer begins with a new character wandering various desolate locales with a partner character, which is not something that we saw in the first game. Now, along the way, the two characters work together to solve physics-based puzzles as the world gets progressively more terrifying. Now, this was announced back at Gamescom 2019. Little Nightmares 2 continues the journey started in the first game, which we called here at IGN one of the scariest horror games of this generation. Now that's a big statement right there. So you horror fans, I would definitely you should definitely check this one out. Now it will include the original protagonist Six, but also introduces a new character named Mono, who doesn't have Mono, named Mono, and is set to be the main focus. Now, just looking at this, it looks pretty eerie and scary. I'm kind of curious. Does this kind of what do you guys think of this, Seth? Let me start with you. What do you think of just like looking at Little Nightmares 2?
Yeah, it's giving me anxiety. I get it's got definite. Oh god, I'm totally blanking on the name of the game. By the people who made Inside, it was the game before that.
Playdead.
Limbo, thank you, Limbo. Yeah, Limbo. I get vibes of that, but like in an even more spooky, anxiety kind of way. Yeah, I'm into it.
Yeah,
definitely a little bit too spooky for me. And I also just wanted to point out, like, I know even though there are two different characters, that it's not co-op or multiplayer as far as we know, even though that does change up the gameplay mechanisms a little bit.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I was saying earlier during the commercial break that with this new character introduced, it kind of gives me like Ico vibes. If Ico were like a survival horror game, is what I would say. Now, the two characters here, they will explore a location called the Signal Tower that the senior narrative designer, Dave Mervick, says is the center of the story. Now, Little Nightmares 2 is set to be released on February 11th, 2021, and will launch on PS4, Xbox One, Nintendo Switch, and PC.
Wow, para
a release
Nintendo
date
Switch,
for
Xbox
next
One,
gen
PC,
systems will be announced at a
PlayStation
later
5.
date. Now let's move on into
Está buena esa.
territory that I'm sure a lot of you are huge fans of. The Sims 4 Star Wars expansion is hitting next month, guys. Now, inspired by the Galaxy's Edge part of Disneyland and Disney World, A Journey to Batuu. Hopefully I said that right.
Someone will let you know.
Batuu. Yeah, I know. They're going to let me know in the comment section. My bad, guys. Now, Journey to Batuu will be available for The Sims 4 on September 8th for PC, Mac, PS4, and Xbox One. Now, the first look trailer showcased some of the locales and the characters from Galaxy's Edge, with EA's official description reading, "Hone your lightsaber skills, befriend a droid, and get ready to unlock missions for the Resistance, First Order, or Scoundrels. The more you accomplish, the closer you are to meeting iconic Star Wars characters like Rey and Kylo Ren." Now, Matt, I'm going to ask you, what type of vibes are you getting from this? How do you feel about this? Are you going to return to The Sims because of this?
Yeah, man, it looks great. It looks identical to the
Sims de Star Wars.
Right? Like the location of Batuu in the Sims.
Está Kylo Ren, está Rey.
If you've been to the Disneyland in
Personaje de la
California,
nueva saga.
identical, and like I feel like given that
no
we
es
can't
Aladdin,
go
es
back
Star
to
Wars.
Disneyland, people
Sims
who
de
are
Star Wars.
jonesing to go visit Galaxy's Edge should just pick this up, and it's pretty much
Sable láser,
as
R2D2.
close an experience as they can get.
Yeah. Now, so this is the thing. So I haven't been to the theme park to experience Galaxy's Edge. Do you think you would have, in order to like kind of appreciate this expansion pack? Do you think you have to have been to the park, the theme park, or do you think this is like a standalone thing that you can actually appreciate without actually having gone?
Oh, I think if you've been to the park, you'll add that like extra like, nostalgia, or like nostalgia is weird, but like memory, you'll be like, oh, I remember going there in real life. But like the Sims expansion has, bonuses, right? Like you can create your own, it looks like in the trailer, you can like create your own little house and customize it in like a Star Wars aesthetic. So like people who just like Sims gameplay will get a lot to enjoy out of it. And I'm just surprised that the Sims hasn't done a Star Wars crossover before.
Yeah, I'm kind of curious why it's taken this long for this to happen. I noticed in this trailer, is that blue milk that they're drinking? So there's blue milk at the theme park. Man, I really got to go one day when it actually opens up. We also had like some other announcements of other Star Wars games, I believe. There was Lego Star Wars. I know you guys are fans of The Sims. How many of you are Lego Star Wars fans?
Lego Star Wars llega hasta de los Sims.
Oh, yeah? Seth, what did you think of that trailer?
I am. They don't even have to show me anything. Just be like Lego Star Wars. I'm like, I'm gonna play that. It was the first game that when my son was little, we allowed him to play, was Lego Star Wars 2. And so it's like, we've got those memories tied to it. So every time there's a Lego Star Wars game, they can put out a real bad Lego Star Wars game. I'm still gonna buy it, and we're still gonna play at least some of it. Maybe not get all the special bricks, but
I was just I do want to call out one comment. I am reading the chat on our YouTube live stream for all of you guys chatting there. And this comment is from Fiat Sopa. Sims 5 would have been interesting in a way, but not another DLC pack. I don't know how to put this. It's the equal / face, like the meh face. What do you guys?
Wow, tanto ruido que
DLC pack looks cool and will bring a lot of people to Sims that maybe haven't played in a while, haven't played maybe at all if they're big enough fans of Star Wars. But what do you guys think? Are you disappointed that it wasn't Sims 5?
Personally, I'm not disappointed, but I definitely I can understand why some people might be disappointed. But I feel like this should be enough to kind of tide you. Hopefully, if you're a Star Wars fan and you're a Sims fan, hopefully this is enough to tide you over till that does happen. And if you're still playing Sims today, if I were a fan, or if I were playing The Sims today, I would be happy to see new content released. That's just me.
I completely
agree.
You
can get The Sims 4 for like $5 most of the time. So it's like it's always on sale. It's a great value.
$5 la expansión.
Add enough to make a sequel.
Para el Sims de Star Wars.
Yeah. Well, you know what? With that, I wish we could talk forever about this stuff, guys. But with that, that's it. Day one of Gamescom. is in the can, guys.
We did it.
At least on our end. Here's a tease at what's happening tomorrow. Things kick off with GameScoop Live, and then Max and Brian are chatting with voice actor Troy Baker. I love that guy, who you've almost definitely heard in at least 5 different video games. And of course, all day we've got tons of exclusive trailers and gameplay reveals. And you can find out everything that's happening, along with lots more gaming content, over on www.gamescom.global. From all of us here, guys, thanks for watching, and we'll see you tomorrow. Let's wave at them, guys. Bye-bye.
Bueno, bye.
Nice.
Bye. Bueno, espero que hayan disfrutado mucho de este directo, un directo bastante distinto de la Gamescom. Espero que lo hayan disfrutado un montón. Nos vemos en la próxima. Gracias por la compañía de todos. Nos vemos. Chau.